Welcome to the World Tourism Channel. Today we will show you the most wonderful tourist places in Jordan. Please, it is not a matter of pressing the like and subscribe button. Thank you. It is the old economic and commercial center of Oman from the beginning of the century until the beginning of the 80s. It is considered one of the most crowded places in the kingdom, due to the diversity of its commercial field. Al Salt Street passes through the center of the country, on both sides of which there are important landmarks in the city, many shops, cafes, agencies, repair shops, exchange and antique shops, and eastern bazaars that foreign tourists flock to, which reflect the country's culture, people, and history. Among the landmarks there are the Roman Amphitheater, Amman, the Museum of Roman History, the Hashemite Square, the Amman National Library, and others. The towering mountains of Amman surround this narrow area, Mount Al-Kala, Jabal al-Jufa, Amman, and others. The Roman Amphitheater in Amman is a monument built in the 2nd century. The amphitheater can accommodate 6,000 people, and it is one of the most famous historical sites in the Jordanian capital, dating back to the Roman era, when that city was known as Philadelphia. Opening square bracket, closing square bracket. The Nymphs Sabal is a nymphaeum that stands on the side of the Amman stream in the center of the Jordanian capital. It dates back to the Roman period, the 2nd century AD, and the building in general is considered an aesthetic building. It is one of the important and public buildings in the Roman cities, and the Jordanian General Department of Antiquities conducts archaeological techniques on the site to show it properly. The capital of the Nabataean Arabs is considered one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world and the most important tourist attraction in Jordan. A mixture of ancient architecture belonging to various civilizations, and it is an entire city carved into the pink rock. And Petra is a unique example of the oldest Arab civilization, the Nabataean civilization, where the Nabataean Arabs carved it out of the rock more than 2,000 years ago, and it is considered one of the new 7 wonders of the world and a witness to the richest and most creative ancient Arab civilizations. Petra was discovered in 1812 AD at the hands of the Swiss Orientalist Johann Ludwig Burckhardt, through an expedition in the Levant, Egypt and the Arabian Peninsula on behalf of the British Royal Geographical Society, so many scholars and Orientalists call Petra the Lost City, due to the delay in showing it to the world, and the English poet Burgon described it as the amazing eastern city, the pink city like no other. The kingdom of the Nabateans flourished and its borders extended south to reach the northwest of the Arabian Peninsula, where the city of Mada and Salah is located. The Nabateans extended their influence to reach the shores of the Red Sea, the east of the Sinai Peninsula and the Hauran Plain region in Syria to the city of Damascus. Many kingdoms surrounded the Nabatean kingdom and its capital, Petra. And civilizations, including the Pharaonic civilization to the west, the civilization of Palmyra to the north, and the civilization of Mesopotamia to the east, so the Nabatean kingdom was in the middle of the civilizations of the ancient world, and it constituted a focal point for the convergence and communication of various world civilizations. The Nabateans were famous for their water engineering and water harvesting techniques, and they have been the owners of the idea since ancient times. The Nabateans developed irrigation systems and collected rainwater in springs. They excelled in building dams and reservoirs that they dug into the rock. They also dug long-distance canals, in addition to building agricultural terraces in the slopes to exploit the lands for agriculture. Wadi Rum is a desert with varied terrain dominated by a desert climate. It is located within the boundaries of the Hizma Desert, which is one of the most beautiful deserts in the world. Its Rocky Mountains are distinguished by their white, yellow, red and brown colors, and by their distinctive geographical formations. Wadi Rum contains a group of narrow valleys, natural arcs, steep cliffs and sloping roads, as well as large piles of collapsed rocks, a number of caves and thousands of rock carvings and engravings. It also includes the highest mountain peaks in the south of the Levant, which are Jabal al Dami and Jabal Rum. The desert of Wadi Rum is a habitat for some desert plants and an amazing group of small birds such as the desert lark, in addition to reptiles and small mammals. With the absence of the sun, unique species of wild animals appear, such as wild rabbits, foxes, and sand kittens. In early spring and autumn, Wadi Rum becomes an important route for birds. Migratory between Africa and Eastern Europe, especially for birds of prey, which can see hundreds of them in one day. Many films were filmed in Wadi Rum, such as Lawrence of Arabia and The Martian, as the valley attracted filmmakers, especially science fiction films that take place on Mars due to the strong similarity between the topography of Wadi Rum and the planet Mars. Wadi Rum is considered one of the most visited tourist areas in Jordan. Tourists from all over the world as it embodies the development of agriculture and urban life in the region, and tourists can practice many activities such as mountaineering, balloon riding, trips on horseback and camels, or using four-wheel drive cars. The camel race is held annually, which is the first event of its kind in Jordan. In addition, Wadi Rum is considered one of the best places in Jordan to watch stars and galaxies and to monitor meteor showers. Lake located in the Jordan Valley Groove within the Syrian-African part, on the border line separating Jordan and historical Palestine. The Dead Sea is famous for being the lowest point on the surface of the globe, as its beach level reached about 400 meters below sea level, according to 2013 records. The Dead Sea is also characterized by its high salinity, as the percentage of salts in it is about 34%, which is 9 times the concentration of salts in the Mediterranean Sea, and one of the highest levels of salinity in water bodies in the world. These salts were produced because the lake is a final destination for the water that flows into it, as there is no way out for it after it. The width of the Dead Sea reaches 17 kilometers at its maximum, while its length is about 70 kilometers. In 2010, its area reached about 650 square kilometers, and it has shrunk over the past 4 decades by more than 35%. The desert climate of the region, which is characterized by extreme heat, dryness, and high evaporation rates, also plays a major role in increasing the concentration of these salts. Recently, the level of the Dead Sea has suffered from a continuous decline, as this is due to a number of main reasons, such as the intensive use of water resources, the most important of which is the Jordan River, and the pumping of water into the southern basin, where the Dead Sea currently consists of 2 basins. It is divided north and south by the Al Lasan Peninsula. As a result of the continuous lowering of this level, the southern part of the lake was exposed to drought, as the southern part is less deep than its northern counterpart, and its beach level reaches 401 meters below sea level. With the draining of the southern part, ponds were established to evaporate water and produce potash and other chemicals such as manganese, magnesium and bromine in the Israeli potash factories and the Arab Potash Company in Jordan. And those pools require a large pumping and evaporation of the Dead Sea water, which greatly affected the increase in sea level decrease. The annual rate of sea level decline during the past decade has reached an amount equivalent to the loss for a whole year, as the level has decreased by about 1 meter every year. This rate has clearly increased in 2012, when the sea level decreased by 1.40 meters. The cumulative decrease in the water level has also led to significant changes in the topography of the surrounding areas and in the Mediterranean Sea, including irreversible changes in the northern part, from the creation of sinkholes, withdrawal from beaches, and damage to infrastructure, roads and bridges, and nature reserves. The Dead Sea is very important for industry and tourism in the region, as the composition of its water is different from natural waters, as it contains a high concentration of calcium and potassium. This is exploited in the factories of the Jordanian and Israeli sides. The historical and touristic importance of the Dead Sea Basin region is due to the sea itself and its shores, where there are some important archaeological and religious monuments in the region such as Masada, Khirbet Qumran, and the Cave of the Prophet Lot, in addition to the natural salt formations and the prevailing climate in it, all of which made the Dead Sea an attraction. International tourism, especially with regard to medical tourism.